Suneera Madhani. Suneera Madhani.
Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Suneera.
Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, a mom of two, daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar business. Yes, billion. Now I'm doing it again and building my second unicorn, Worth. Shockingly, less than 2% of female founders ever reach 1 million in revenue, and I'm on a mission to change that. At CEO School, we mentor thousands of women to help them level up in business and in life. We believe that you deserve to have it all because honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. It is the new year. I am so excited. I cannot believe we are in 2025. Every year we feel this. We're like, where did last year go? And this year, like any New Year's, it's always so wonderful to really think about the year ahead, get our mindset right, get our habits going. I don't know about you, but I always try to not fall into this like New Year resolution list because let's face it, they barely last after, a couple weeks, into the new year. And so as we're thinking about 2025, I wanted to share with you on our first episode coming back, New Year's rituals. So New Year's rituals that I think all of us as CEOs should start. So instead of it being resolutions, I'd like to consider some rituals. And rituals are something that are sacred. Rituals are something that are habitual. Rituals are something that should be easy. It's just part of the process. And so I was really thinking about how I want to help start your new year and even mine. And I thought, what a perfect way then to share my 5 rituals for 2025. And I want to invite you into the rituals as well. So that's what today's episode is going to be about. I hope you're excited wherever you are tuning in from, whether you're out on a walk, whether it's a drive, whether you're listening on an airplane today. I just want to share some gratitude as always, and thank you for listening to the show. This year actually marks our 5th year of the CEO School podcast. 5 years. That is so incredible. And none of it would be possible if it wasn't for all of you tuning in every single week. And so it means so much to me. I don't think I've ever done anything for this long, obviously, besides, my day job. And, I think about it every year of, we're on episode 300 and almost 40 right now. So you've been tuning in, especially for our, original listeners. I mean, it has been year after year of just mindset, CEO tips. We've had some of the most incredible guests on the show. And every season kind of, you've also grown with me. So it's kind of the seasons of life that I'm evolving in as a CEO, seasons of life through my businesses and scale. And now I'm back at it again in round 2 of CEO World. And I'm just really excited to put that CEO hat back on. And so this year I was thinking about what do I want to bring to the show that's going to be new and unique and what has worked well for us in the past. And so I want to get you excited about what you're going to be tuning in for. So it's definitely, again, a year of ease, right? Every year I try to say no as much as I can and to simplify. And so the show is going to go on and we're going to have things super easy and seamless. So it's going to be a weekly show. So tune in every single Monday. I love Mondays, and I think it's such a great way to start our week off. And this gives you an opportunity, even if you can't tune in on Monday, I want to make sure that I have a show delivered for you every single Monday. So whenever you are ready to tune in for that week, whether it's Tuesday morning, Monday night, or Thursday, or even through the weekend, you have it in your inbox, ready to go to ensure that you're starting your week off right. And so you can expect a weekly show from us as usual. And over the course of the month, I'm going to split it up into 2-part solo and 2-part guest interview. And so we're going to bring back the guests this season. And this season, the guests that I'm thinking about, I really want to have experts that are going to share tangible tips with us. So we've had a lot of really amazing CEOs and incredible inspiration stories that I hope to still bring onto the show. So we've got some really awesome guests that I just love to hear their success and their challenges and becoming the person that they are. But I really want to bring in some experts that, are supporting CEOs on a day-to-day and really get some tangible playbooks from them. This year is still all about execution. It's still about our freedom of time, dollar, and influence. So you will still see that trend for us in 2025. But I really want to focus on tangible playbooks that you can leave with every single episode. And so we're going to do 2-part interview, 2-part solo. So that's what we're heading into for 2025. And this year, it's our 5th year, and there's so many podcasts out there that you could be listening to, that you are listening to. There's so much saturation, and it's incredible that our show has lived on for this long, and I need your help. I want this year to be our best year yet, and I need your support in leaving us reviews, sharing the show, inviting friends into this weekly CEO journey with you. It is so much more fun to go through life with your friends and to go through this journey. And this is what this is. Being a CEO is a journey with other incredible leaders. And so invite your friends. Let's bring them in. We've got plenty of space at this table. And so I'm excited for you to share this episode today. Leave a review today. Tell me what you want to hear in 2025. And I'm just so pumped to be here. And happy New Year. All right, so let's get into it. New Year's rituals every CEO needs to start in 2025. So I have 5 rituals that I'm bringing in for this next year. And the number one ritual, and again, why it's a ritual is because it has to be part of the process, it's simple. It's prioritizing rest and recovery. So we're going to go hard. We go hard every year. We are actionable CEOs. You're ambitious. We have so much on our plates. But the burnout is real, and prioritizing our rest and most importantly, our sleep. So that is a non-negotiable for me in 2025. And I want to invite you into prioritizing rest and recovery as well. What I'm doing as part of my ritual, which is non-negotiable for productivity and for my mental clarity, is sleeping 8 hours. Not rocket science. It is so important. This is the best advice that I can give you, the best advice that I've taken over the last several years, now that my kids are a little bit older. And I know that we've probably got some new moms out there, or I know there's a lot on many of your plates, but how do you really just, if this becomes a focus, then you can prioritize it. And I have been focusing on prioritizing my sleep. 7 hours, I would say, is where I really try to at least hit. I stopped wearing all of the devices. So I was, if those help you and helps you prioritize, that's fantastic. This last year, I gave up all of the data around me. I feel like I was so focused on all of the numbers and the metrics and just trying to simplify. And so I've gotten rid of all of the rings and all of the watches, and I just have tangible, just real jewelry on when I need to, but not giving me data. And so I was just feeling like I was getting inundated with data. But there's some really great sleep tools out there to support you if you need that, but just prioritizing it, making it a non-negotiable. And the way that I'm able to do it is it's a digital detox at night, right? And so it's a hard habit to get into, especially with our phones and how busy life is. And, you want to unwind at night. And so you kind of go through what puts you to sleep, or what's your day end ritual, right? Whatever that is, it's maybe changing that up so that you can make this a priority. And so for me, it's about making sure that my phone is not on my nightstand. It's literally getting into bed, and I've been really focused on my skincare routine this last year. And so, getting into bed and just turning off the devices, like getting my phone out, getting my phone away from me. And so I stopped the late night scrolling. And so that's completely off. So social media has its own time, and I can do that, consciously when I want to, and not unconsciously or subconsciously when I'm, getting into bed. And so prioritizing sleep for me is really critical. And I hope you can also prioritize that. So that's a non-negotiable for me, and a ritual that I'm bringing in every single night as best as I possibly can. And so I know it's not going to happen every single night, but just getting into that mindset, especially around work days, right? So especially for my work days, Sunday through Thursday, super critical for me to be rested. And when I'm rested, then everything else falls into play. Like every other thing that's going to be a ritual that I'm going to share with you, it's all going to fall into place because I feel great. I feel I've got my sleep. And so I'm prioritizing that. And whatever that is for you, however that works for you, I know that there's lots of great supplements and, everyone's bodies are different, whatever works for me. Reading is definitely something really does put me to sleep, and I take magnesium. And so just like great, magnesium, I use a product called Calm. It's just, I just put it in my water, and it's really good for my insides and just helps me just unwind. So I just have my night ritual, or I'll have an herbal tea or a chamomile tea that will also just make me a little bit, it's just signals to my brain that it's time to unwind and it's time to go to sleep. And even if you can't give up all your devices, right? So I do have a tip here, because one of the things that I do like to do with my husband is, we don't watch a ton of television, but watching like a food TV show or something. Like we love to watch Late Night with David Chang, and that's recorded, and it's like a food TV show that we're obsessed with. And so even if it's that one thing, just that's when I'll do my skincare and everything else. And so, ideally it'd be perfect if we have no television and we don't do it every night. But the phone's away, we're making these bits of progress, but sleep, we're literally, I know it's time to go to sleep. So it's not that one more episode or where I'm fooling. No, it's done. It's time, lights off, time to go to bed. And now there's also like, even with all our Google Home and devices, like you can, even your lights and whatever else can also start turning off too. So you can really get yourself in that rest and recovery mindset every day if you really make it a focus. So I'm making it a focus. I hope I've inspired you to make it a focus. Sleeping 8 hours. And then even in terms of rest and recovery, I put down here, Friday noon cutoff. So this is something that I've been trying to practice, and it's not every week that it's perfect. But again, it's not going to be perfect every week. But I am prioritizing by noon on Fridays, I'm shutting down my work. So I'm turning it off. I'm closing the laptop, and it's done. So there's no meetings past noon. And that's at least the first step. So I have no meetings on my calendar post Friday at 12 o'clock, unless it's, and it happens, it creeps up on the calendar, but I'm really working with my team for myself to personally ensure that there is so much decision-making that's happening all week long. I need to turn it off, and that's my time to turn it off. So completely turning it off, it really does, like going into the weekend mindset. And I know many of you think that this is like so far from, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can, or if your work will, you have so much work to do. But, there's so many things that we've talked about, which I'm going to continue to talk about on like what needs to get off of your plate. What are we deleting? What are the most important things? But by Friday, you can plan around it on your calendar. Don't do the meetings past 12 and really turn off. The last thing that I do is check my email. My last admin time is literally at noon. Sometimes it goes to 1, but it's done. There's no more meetings. And by 1 o'clock, my laptop is shut. I'm trying to move it up in time as well so that I could really just turn off by 12. And then it's your mind is like ready for recovery. Like your mind, your work is done. You're ready for recovery. And even, I don't check my email. I don't check my email until Sunday, until I'm getting ready for work on Monday. And so I really go into this really awesome, just like my brain turns off and I feel like I'm in relax mode. I'm in home mode. I'm in mom mode. I'm in all of the other things. And it really just has been so critical for me last year. And it's a non-negotiable for me this year. I am very diligently working with my teams to ensure that it's fully out. I'm even trying right now to make it almost a no meeting day on Friday. And so add it to your calendar, try to do it, even if it's 2 Fridays a month, whatever else it is. Let's start getting into the habit of trying to get there. It is going to be the best ritual that you do in 2025. So sleeping 8 hours and then closing off work Friday at noon. We're going to do it. So that was actually number 1, prioritizing rest and recovery. Number 2, which these are all things that we all want to incorporate, that we are incorporating, is taking the pressure off of this like crazy, on our well-being of the gym and health and fitness. Like my prioritization is just to move. It's just to move. It's just to move every day. And it is, for me, it's walking, right? So my daily movement, and whatever that is for you, 20 minutes to 40 minutes. I mean, I like to get out for a walk. And right now the weather is really, really great here for us in Florida. I know it's not so great for many places that you might be tuning in from. But whatever that looks like for you at home, don't get into that winter slump right now. Get out and move around the house, put on a video that you like, do some yoga, and just get committed to moving every day. And those rituals of your daily movement, why it's important for it to be a ritual, because it turns into that routine. And so if you have a nighttime routine, like I know many CEOs that will do like a quick nighttime stretch routine, or you have a morning routine that you do for 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be long, but 20 minutes you can prioritize in getting your body moving. We also, over our CEO School retreat, we learned some really cool chair yoga. And honestly, check out some videos on YouTube just to get your body stretching and moving and out of the chair. I am definitely trying to incorporate that into my day-to-day through the day as well. And so that's been really easy for me. And something else that I do, because walking for me is like my daily meditation, and just getting moving out for a walk. I even, so I have a Peloton treadmill at home. And so with the treadmill, I actually don't even put on any of the, classes that are on the treadmill, but I'll even take, I'll take my calls on it. And so I'll take my calls on it. I have a walking treadmill in the office at Worth as well. And so I'll try to either get out for a walk on a walking call. And if I can't take a walking call, I'll try to get on the treadmill or on the desk treadmill that we have in the office. And so just getting one meeting, even if it's at 2.0 speed, you're just moving and you're burning some calories, you're getting the movement going, and it gets checked off. And so that is something I really do try to prioritize. And I'm not counting steps anymore. But I do feel like with me just walking an hour a day or doing that one hour walk, whether it's in between couple meetings or just getting out and taking a walking meeting around the lake, will put me at that 10,000 step goal. And so I don't track it anymore, but I feel like that's just become a ritual. It's just part of my habit. And I try to do one every single day instead of being seated at my desk all day. So whenever possible, just do a walking meeting. And that just checks off my movement bucket. It makes me feel so great. Even some of my downtime. So for walking, because I don't watch television in the bedroom, or I don't really watch a ton of TV, I will, if for example, I watched Bridgerton last season or Emily in Paris, I watched those seasons that I want to binge, right? That you're I'm dying for the next episode. And I literally put it on my phone, and here's my phone. I'll show you. I love this Octobuddy, this suction cup. It's $8 on Amazon. But I will literally attach it to the Peloton, and I'm sure there's a way. I think you can stream it now on your devices, but just if you have a walking treadmill at home, I literally slap it on my treadmill and I will watch an episode of whatever TV I'm dying to binge. So I did Bridgerton that way. I did Emily in Paris. And so I'm dying to watch the next episode. And I'm okay, tomorrow I'll get on the treadmill and it'll be a 40-minute episode and I'll get to watch my episode. And so it's a fun little ritual, even for myself now, of just getting my walking in. And honestly, that's all I did this last year from a health and fitness perspective, was just walk. And I did some hot Pilates. That's what I did to maintain. The first year where I was really trying to get into shape, I was doing a bunch of stuff. This last year in maintenance mode, it's been really nice. So number 2, walk or move every day. So moving every day and making it part of your ritual. And then, this is something that I will say that I am trying to make a ritual, is truly hydration. I feel like I drink so much coffee all day. So I drink coffee up until noon every day. And then I'm ready for my meal. And so I am trying to get back into just really great skin, and just being hydrated obviously just is all of the fuel for everything that I need. So I'm trying to incorporate rituals into to to make hydration easier. So I'm not going to be the one to carry around like this giant, like drink this all day flask thing, but I'm just trying to create the ritual where as soon as I wake up, before I have my cup of coffee, I'll have a glass of water. So every time I go have a cup of coffee, the ritual is have a glass of water and then have a cup of coffee. So just trying to incorporate more hydration in my day. And I think I've now figured out what works well for my body from a fuel perspective. So nourishment is so important and key. I was depleting myself of, being on so many diet cycles and trying different things when now I've just learned what works for my body. And I need a balanced plate in order for my body to feel satisfied and carry me through the energy for the day. And so prioritizing your nutrition it's game changer. It's so important. I almost thought about not putting it in here because it's almost a given, but how can you create rituals around it, right? And so we have rituals in the house. Like every night as a family, we sit down and we have a meal together. And so my kids are involved in it. We plan our meals on Sunday. So this is without fail. And I'm going to go into one of the episodes that I am recording for you this month is on time hacks as a CEO for 2025. So I'm really excited for you to record that episode, and I'll go deeper into some of my time hacks. But every single Sunday, I sit down and I'm like, what's up ahead? So I think about food in that way of like, what do I need to fuel my family, fuel ourselves? What's going to make our life easier? And what are the dinners that we're cooking and having at home? And so making your family part of it it's just how how I've been able to really just also prioritize my own energy and nutrition. And we do it as a family, and it's just sit down, have a meal. And sitting down is also becoming a ritual for me. So when it's lunchtime, I've had a habit of just eating and going and just sitting down and taking 15 minutes to have a meal. When I work from home, Faisal also works from home those days. And so one of us will be in charge of making the lunch for each other. And so we just divide and conquer. So on Sundays, we divide and conquer. And we're like, okay, what are the meals you're in charge of? What are the meals that I'm in charge of? And we divide and conquer. But we try to sit down on our work from homes to have lunch together. And when I'm in the office, every Monday and Wednesday, I have lunch with my brother. I have lunch with my brother, and it forces me to sit down. We have a meal together. And we also divide and conquer. So we used to order in lunch all the time. And now we're also dividing and conquering on who's bringing in lunch. And honestly, I've got two incredible men in my life that feed me. So I know how privileged and lucky I am for sharing that out loud. But even if it's not people around you and you're responsible for it, just think about it and prioritize it. And I do prioritize it on Sunday. And it really does. It's off my plate, and it's like the last thing I have to think about, and my body is nourished. So for me, it's about 2 healthy, strong meals, lunch and dinner. Those are my 2 main meals of the day. And so I try to make those hearty and nutritious and just filled with protein and vegetables and healthy carbs. So it's very balanced. And so that I do feel I have everything for the day. And so that's my ritual. I hope you find yours in hydration and nutrition. So that was number 3. Number 4 is I'm really excited about this one for 2025, y'all. Okay, so I want to build connection and fun into my calendar. And so this last year I gave a lot, and I'm sure this is the same for most of you. Like, we're the last to think about ourselves, make time for ourselves. And it's, I actually have been thinking about like what fuels me and where's my me time. And not just like self-care time. And so I am building in some rituals for girls' nights. Like, I'm really excited for girls' nights and creating rituals around it with my friends and committing to once a month that we're going to go have time together. I'm also putting connection time on my calendar one-on-one with our friends as well, and with, people I want to spend time with. So I'm back, y'all, into booking lunch meetings. So 2 years ago, if you're a listener, I had an entire episode on how I'm not doing lunch meetings because it was a time hack. It takes a long time. It takes time out of your day. But I want to bring some fun back into my calendar, and it doesn't always have to be all work, no play. And so I am scheduling one night a month of fun with my girlfriends where we are just us, no husbands, whatever we're doing. We're going for dinner. We're going to a show. We're going to go have a girls' night. And usually it still ends up, we end up still coming home, early enough, but it's on the calendar and it's been really fun. And so I'm really excited to continue that ritual. And again, going back to like building fun into your calendar, it's also about planning the right trips for you as a family, or for, what brings you joy. This last year, I spent so much time traveling. I would probably took over 50 different flights this last year in 2024. So I was everywhere. And it took a huge toll on me from a routine perspective, burnout perspective, all the things. And even I had so much travel with the family too. And so this year, I if you didn't catch up, I'd love for you to go back and listen to some of the lessons from 2024. I think that'll really also get you in the right mindset of 2025. But even for fun, I'm being very strategic about fun. I'm like, okay, what really brings me joy? Faisal and I, honestly, we travel a ton, but we are always he's always coming with me from a work trip standpoint. It's not ever just an us vacation. So I'm really just building in some quality time with my spouse, which with young kids, it's really difficult, but we're prioritizing that. I'm building in girlfriend time as well. So we're going to do one girls trip this year. We did one last year and it was 48 hours. And honestly, even 48 hours is enough. Sometimes we feel like it has to be this really big thing. It doesn't. Even if it's a staycation for one night, it really does. It's so fun to bring in these rituals. And so I'm just really thinking about what really brings me joy and prioritizing some of those ahead on my calendar. So it's like, okay, this is the fun time. And I'm trying to bring in some fun once a quarter that doesn't have to do with work, that doesn't have to do with, just my kids as well. And so, and even if it's with the kids, what does that look like? That also brings me joy. And so we're evaluating our vacations and seeing, okay, this is what brings all of us joy. So planning ahead and bringing fun into your calendar. And doing it from a ritual standpoint. So again, this is all about rituals, not resolutions. And so the girls' night ritual is something I'm really excited about. Think about how can you apply a ritual into bringing in fun. And even with connections, right? So I know many of us want to connect with other women or want to connect and build these meaningful relationships. It's hard. And so how can you carve out time for that? If it's meeting with a mentor once a month, right? Having a coffee date, you can build it in from a ritual standpoint that every Friday, now that you're turning off your laptop on Fridays at noon, you have lunch with a friend or you find somebody new to have a coffee with or a meal with, a mentor or somebody that you want to, mentee that you want to mentor. And so you can build rituals around connection. So I'm really excited about that. And the last ritual that I want you to be thinking about for 2025 is aligning with purpose through mindset work. So mindset work is always been part of, somehow I've had my own rituals that are associated with it. So this is one that's I've had every year. They have ebbed and flowed, but I really want to make sure I bring it into 2025. I have been journaling for the last several years and just take 5 minutes as soon as I get to my desk to, dump my thoughts and do some affirmations and some gratitude. And it's a 3-minute ritual that I have. And if you're new to the show, I'll share kind of what my process is like there. I don't get up at 5 a.m. to do all of these rituals. It's just I want to make the ritual part of my day to day. So it sticks. It's just part of it. I don't have to think about it. And so when I get to the office, I have my CEO School journal that sits right on top of my laptop. And it's so simple. It has 3 things. It says my gratitude, my affirmation, my needle movers for the day, and then an open page just to dump whatever is on my mind. And it takes me less than 5 minutes to do that. But I do it before I open the laptop. When I'm at home, I have the journal that sits right on top of my desk as well. So it's just there for me. It's not at a certain time. It's not some time that I have to get up or to create this process. It's just part of my day to day. And because it sits literally right on top of my laptop, as soon as I'm about to start my day or open up my work day, I'm able to have that ritual. And it just puts me in the right mindset for the whole day. That's really important. And on Sundays, just the weekly reflections, like on Sundays, Now my brain has been turned off. It's been a great weekend. I'm home. I feel so rested and recharged. It's so great for me to have a ritual to reflect from this week and then set clear intentions for the week up ahead. For me, when I do that, it sets up my week for such success. And so these are some rituals that I hope you can find and incorporate into your 2025. I don't think resolutions last, so I don't want you to be so hard on yourself on the amount or drinking of the water and the walking of the steps and the number of times that you're going to go to the gym and the number of times you're going to do this or that. Like, how can we think about it from a ritual perspective? How can we incorporate it into our day-to-day and make it really special? And so you miss it if it's not there. It's just part of who you are. That's what I think is so great about a ritual. And I'm really excited to bring these into 2025. I hope you are too. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, clearing space, thinking of the rituals in 2025. We talked about prioritizing rest and recovery. We talked about moving. We talked about hydration and nourishment. We talked about bringing fun into the calendar and then aligning your purpose with mindset work and reflection. And so these are all incredible things that will fuel us. And when we do that, will help us in achieving our best year yet. Business is personal. And so taking care of the person inside will help you in being the greatest CEO and the best business year that I hope you have in 2025. Sending all my love. I'm super excited for all of these episodes that we're recording. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you loved about today, what ritual you're incorporating into your life. And I'll see you on social this week. Share and leave a review. I'm super excited. All right, we'll see you on next week's episode. Bye, everyone.